Hello everybody and welcome to Impact. I'm Nick Barber, your host for the government segment. Today my special guest is Mayor Gary McCarthy, Mayor of the City of Schenectady. Mayor, thanks for coming.
Nick, it's a pleasure to be here. It's good to see you again.
Always good to see you. And
you're here with Open Stage Media.
Yeah. It's a great operation, and you had a great part in that to bring it to where it is today.
As well, did you when we the old days with the other group as we transitioned public access from kind of a stodgy parochial little venue to this new 3-channel, exciting,
first class,
broad-based community media center
that
allows education, got public access, it's got government, and we're truly fortunate and look back at those days when there was a little bit of controversy, still some controversy sometimes.
Well, there's still a little bit, but as I said, there was a lot of bravery on your part and other members of the public officials community, but it turned out to be a great thing. So we're here to talk about many things, but there's a homes program in Schenectady that's going on, coming up soon. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the homes program, how it originated, and where it is now, and what that's about.
What kind of
other matters?
Sure.
Go ahead. Sure.
Recap when I came into office last year, looking at a multitude of issues in the city, and one of which I thought was, any city like Schenectady has a lot of good things. There's some challenging things, and looked at the real estate, looked at our school district, and thought that we should start to promote that, try and get a positive message out for the good things that are happening here in the community. And my intent to do that was to create some interest, and then as we looked at some of the negative things, go through with the code enforcement, some of our more distressed and problem properties, that you're, as opposed to going to the bottom feeders, you're creating some value, that even the worst of the worst has some value here in the city of Schenectady. And it's balanced out with the good things that are there. We worked with Key Bank, put in place initially working on a key to the city, kind of an aggressive mortgage package to allow people to come in here and to buy a home, live here. And we've expanded that under a broader title, Homes, Home Ownership Made Easy in Schenectady, where, yes, it includes Key Bank, NBT, other local banks, other real estate companies. We've had Prudential has been our prime sponsor in this and one of the prime movers, but again, it's the full community. We want everybody here. We want everybody to participate, everybody to see the opportunity that exists in this community. And so a week from Sunday, on September 30th, we're going to have a home show at City Hall, which will again kick off our once-a-month open house program in Schenectady, so that there'll be a number of vendors there talking about different products, options that individuals have that might be considering real estate here in the city of Schenectady.
Is it geared towards just first-time home buyers or any home buyers?
It's any home buyer.
Yeah.
I want to push the message for owner occupancy here in the city.
Yes.
I believe that's the long-term solution.
Yes.
So first-time home buyers are a key component of that, where you attract sometimes younger individuals in who want to own the home for the first time.
Yes.
But our housing stock is designed really for everybody. There's for families, seniors, first-time home buyers, and we want everybody to come in here to look at the options and the value that's in the real estate here in the city.
And there are some good values because the program was successful. I remember you had I don't know how many loans at the beginning, but many people came out to the open houses and there were resulting sales. This wasn't just a smoke and mirrors program. This really worked, and it's still working.
And we're still going to do it. I told people it's not something we're going to do just over 1 month or a short period of time. Our problems didn't get to where we are overnight. We're not going to solve them overnight. It's a multi-year campaign to do this. And what we found as we did the analysis, we all talk about high taxes and other issues in urban areas, that the market has discounted the housing price to compensate for perceived high taxes. And when you evaluate what you get in the city of Schenectady with some of our suburban neighbors, you actually get more value for your dollar in a house in the city of Schenectady. And that sometimes it's hard for people to grasp that, and they don't believe it on the surface, and you have to really sit down and kind of crunch the numbers
Yeah.
and then look at the opportunity that exists here in the city of Schenectady. And that's part of our overall marketing campaign that we've
Yeah.
been doing every month.
Yeah, well, the city has more services in most suburban areas. And,
Yes.
the desirability has always been, for the most part, for people that live in the city. In modern day, it's, being close to work, being close to a downtown environment, shopping, public transportation, hospitals, even our community college. So there's a lot of reasons to live in the city.
Exactly. That element of convenience is
Yeah.
very important.
There's a
in people's
price tag
lives.
on that. You should actually pay for that. But in today's environment, there's some great bargains for some beautiful homes.
Exactly.
So that's a great thing. Talking about homes and property taxes, I mean, every city suffers with property taxes. I know that there's a pretty aggressive program now dealing with the foreclosures and the issues that the city has. But we're not alone. We're not. I know because I travel throughout the state. Schenectady's not the only city that's got delinquent taxes, but now the city is doing something about it to try to get things back on track.
It's unfortunate.
I don't know if you want to talk about
It's-
this.
well,
Not a popular issue, but I think it's a good thing that there's a proactive plan.
It's unfortunate that for a long period of time, the city of Schenectady didn't aggressively deal with a called distressed property and
Yeah.
people who weren't paying their property taxes.
Yeah,
In the budget that we're under this year, we're assuming a 12.5% uncollectability, where people aren't paying their taxes.
Yes.
Historically, it used to run 1.5%, 2%. So if everybody paid their taxes, the overall tax rate in the city of Schenectady would be 10% less.
Yes.
If you look back in 2010, our actual uncollectability that year ran about 16%.
Was it?
16% of the people weren't paying their taxes.
it's high.
That's why it has put a lot of pressure on city government in terms of our finances.
Yes.
But we can't have people just act with total disregard where they have gone 4 or 5 years or more without paying any property taxes. That's what drives up our cost. And a lot of these, again, are absentee landlords, they're investment properties, and it creates a terrible problem. And what I've done is put in place a very aggressive, where we're going to do the foreclosures, we're going to go after that, and we're going to bring those houses in, we're going to market them, we're going to try and rehab some of them, turn them around so that they add value to the neighborhoods and to the community, as opposed to creating distress and decreasing the value of adjacent property because they're not maintained and they're run down.
So the property tax is the largest revenue source for a city like Schenectady and others. I mean, without the actual revenue, the collection of the property tax revenue, then you're in problem with your operating budget and your day-to-day
Exactly.
operations.
And we can't have, most people are good, honest, tax-paying citizens who want to maintain their property, want to keep it up, want to reflect well on their neighbors.
Yes.
But we have a small group of people that fortunately has grown in size, that where they have chosen not to pay their taxes, not to maintain their standards or
Yeah.
their responsibility as a citizen.
Well, there's some responsible investors out there, but for the most part, it's always that absentee landlord issue.
Yes.
And this city was founded on a working class people that lived in two-family houses, a big two-family housing stock, and they were two families. The parents or the grandparents would live downstairs, the others, children would live upstairs, and it was owner-occupied. Now, fast forward 50 years later, it's not that way anymore. A lot of people have moved or bought bigger, better homes and then sold their homes to others who saw an investment opportunity. So, I mean, I'm in favor of business enterprise as long as you're responsible and you buy a property, take care of it.
And what
but we've had some negative problems too, and
what I tell people, that if they would fix their property up, maintain it, you're able to get a higher rent for it. If you've got
Yes.
distressed property that's bottom rung, they're not paying the taxes, they're not keeping it up,
Right.
they're not able to attract a higher level tenant, they don't get the higher level rent,
Right.
they create more distress, and they are really missing the big picture. If they
Yeah.
would focus on doing things right, it works in everybody's best interest.
Yeah. There are some that just run the properties into the ground and intentionally don't pay their taxes.
Exactly.
And just milk out the rents, and they say, well, maybe I'll just let it go, and
Exactly.
they'll take their profits and run. And that's the kind of property owners we don't want.
Right, and I want to send that message out that
yeah.
I don't want them here in the city of Schenectady.
Yeah. Well, it's a good message. Affects quality of life too, for our existing residents, long-term residents. So what else is going on in the city that's exciting and new that you'd like to talk about? Any other programs? I know there's a lot of controversy out there always. I'm not trying to pigeonhole you on that, but I want to give you an opportunity to tell people what's happening in the city.
It's for talk about some of the things with our paving program again.
That's a good one. We see a lot of work out in the streets now.
Our second year that we have made a major component of our street paving is this in-place recycling, so that individuals have seen the crews. It's quite impressive. There's like 2 big trucks that go over. They heat up the road surface. They got jet flames, gas jets that go down, heat the surface up. It scrapes up the material. They put a rejuvenator in it, and then it puts the street surface back down. For a number of years, the city had done the streets, curbs, and sidewalks, which is what we would like to do.
Yeah.
But it's a very expensive process, and we were not being able to keep up with the actual street surface.
Yes.
This process has allowed us, where we're not quite at 20 miles of street surface over the last 2 years. We've done a little bit under 10 miles a year. But it's a good process. It dramatically improves our road surface and drivability in the community, and makes things just look better and more friendly. And so we're thankful for the crews that have done that, and the minimal inconvenience that we've caused to some of the neighborhoods when we've gone through there. But the end product is
it's for a good result.
Very impressive. It's very green. We recycle material right in place.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's quite a thing to watch.
Yes.
And it is an improvement to the neighborhoods. Appearance-wise, curbs, nice streets, and that's another marketability issue too, to keep the infrastructure of the neighborhoods going. As we talked about before, the neighborhoods are a key issue today to, not only physically improve them with streets and curbing, but encourage people to improve their properties. Has the city thought about any programs? I know years ago when we had money, we had housing programs and loans and siding and window programs, but have we thought about any encouragement to homeowners to maybe fix their program or their homes up to increase the marketability and give a good image to the city? Anything like that going on?
We've looked at some of those. There are some on the books for home renovations, for new constructions, and other ones where people should feel free to call the city assessor to look at some of those possible incentives that are out there.
Yeah.
There has not been a broad-based urban policy towards cities. It really, I think, has to come from the state level to, as you point out before, there's a lot of reasons you should live in cities, but people have tended to migrate out to the suburbs where they look and think that things are more simple and more convenient, when in fact they're not. If you look at the commuting costs, as gasoline goes up $4 a gallon, other things, that the long-term public policy, I think, should be to encourage people to live in urban areas, to have communities that are much more walkable, have that element of convenience, and there's value in that.
Yes.
And we want to try and promote that.
I see there's construction starts too in the city. I mean, 10 years ago the city didn't have any new starts. Now people are building apartment complexes. I see new apartments going in the Union Street area. There's permits being taken out for some new home construction. So that's all encouraging, because that was pretty flat, years ago.
It was.
There
was nothing. People
you could count on one hand the building permits on new construction.
Right. We were
at one time.
Our suburban neighbors did very well. We were fortunate this year to get the Erie Boulevard rehabilitation project underway. That's been going all summer, and hopefully about a year from now we will finish that, and Erie Boulevard will have been rebuilt into an attractive entranceway to this community. Right now, it shows its age.
Yes.
And this will, I believe, create opportunities for development along Erie Boulevard.
And it is a gateway to the community. I mean, the home of General Electric Company, coming off of 890, it's a major entrance to the city,
Exactly.
so we want to have a good impression. That's a great program. Was that federal and state money, plus a
It's-
little bit of local? The
exactly.
taxpayers should know it's not really a huge expense to local taxpayers. Is that correct?
Exactly. It's funded 80% with federal money, 15% with state money, and there's roughly 5% local dollars go into that particular funding formula for the rehabilitation of Erie Boulevard.
Well, 5% is a minuscule investment on the taxpayers' money for a big return, so it's a good
Yes, because
project.
that street's going to be totally rebuilt.
What's it going to look like? Are we going to have like pedestrian walkways and trees?
There'll be a median in the center. I should
in
have
the
brought
center?
a...
Oh, that's okay. We could do it at
uh,
another time, but just as long as we're talking about it, maybe the public would let,
It is.
get
It'll
a better idea what it's gonna look like when
There'll
it's
be new
done.
lighting, sidewalks, there'll be a median there, so
Yeah.
it'll be both pedestrian and vehicular traffic will be
right?
much more friendly to each
Yeah.
other. And it'll just, the overall attractiveness of the street will be dramatically improved.
Yeah.
So that it's going to encourage development on the, again, the adjacent property.
Yeah,
That's something
absolutely.
maybe we should do a topic on, or I could get somebody
Yeah,
from
get
city
your
engineering
Sure.
over here to go over it and outline the timeline and then what the end product is going to look like.
Let's do that. Well, you can have your staff come back, or yourself or your staff, whoever you designate, and we can tell the public what's going on, because there's a lot of curiosity out there. Everybody
Yes.
doesn't read the papers all the time, and they wonder, and they go.
And I apologize to people for their inconvenience right now, because going down Erie Boulevard, the traffic sometimes gets backed up a little bit and the road surface is a little bit bumpy, but
Yeah.
it's the price we pay for progress.
That's right, and it's going to be great, a great result. I remember Niagara Mohawk, which is now National Grid, because my stepdad worked for NIMO for years in the gas department. And when gas became a popular energy source, natural gas, they used to put all these signs up when they were digging in the streets, detours, and it'd say, "Gotta dig, everyone wants natural gas." So it's a great improvement. Same thing on Erie Boulevard. We have to do this construction, but the end result is going to be pleasing and effective for years to come,
Exactly.
for everyone. We've got a little bit of time left. Is there anything that I missed that's on your mind?
Again, I would just encourage people, if they have any interest in home ownership, stop down to City Hall on Sunday, September 30th. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to have 20-some vendors that will be there, from banking, construction companies, rehabilitation, housing assistance. Some of our not-for-profits will be there. And to enjoy the Schenectady Green Market, which will be set up outside of City Hall that day. It's there for a few more Sundays before they move back over to the Proctors Arcade. But
That is just a great. That green market has grown to something outstanding. It's terrific.
yeah, it's a fantastic event every Sunday. There's the regular vendors that are there, and there's always something new.
Yep.
And every time I go, I run into somebody that I haven't seen in a long time, too,
Yeah.
that it draws people from not only in the city, but really across the region.
Yes,
to
it's
come
a great
down
event.
to downtown Schenectady on Sunday.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Let's not forget the home show. That's on September 30th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Schenectady City Hall. We'll put it up on the. There might be a website or some information. We'll try to put it up on the screen. But be there Sunday, September 30th. Mayor McCarthy, thank you so much for coming.
Mr. Barber, it's always a pleasure to see you.
And I know your schedule's busy, but we always appreciate you coming here. So
Thank
thank
you.
you very much. This is
you.
Nick Barber. I'm your host for Impact. We've been visiting with Mayor Gary McCarthy, our special guest. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Proctors, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.